My mom has this quiet little habit. Every morning she sits at the edge of her bed, completely still, as if she's waiting for her body to wake up. Separately from her mind, she gently rubs her lower back. Head-bowed breath, long and slow, and then she whispers, "It hurts again this morning, but here's the strange part. She sleeps through the night. In bed by 9 p.m., like clockwork, no tossing, no waking, no complaints about cold feet or aching shoulders. And yet, every single morning, that same dull ache, right in her lower back, like something had been pressing there all night, bending her little by little, pulling her spine out of place without her even knowing. One morning, I stood by her door and just watched. She looked peaceful, but something didn't feel right. Then I saw it. Her mattress thick, soft, deeply cushioned. When she sat, her hips sank low into the foam. It looked cozy, comfortable, but when she lay down, her spine didn't rest straight. It dipped, sagged, like a hammock made of clouds. And that's when it hit me. What if the softness we thought was comforting was actually hurting her? What if that cloud-like mattress we all praised was the very reason her mornings always began? In pain. My mom's mattress used to feel like the perfect gift. Thick, soft, luxurious. Everyone who saw it would smile and say, "That looks like sleeping on a cloud." And my mom loved it. "This is so soft it won't hurt my back," she said once, beaming. At first, it did seem perfect. She fell asleep faster, didn't toss, didn't turn. For a while it looked like the mattress was helping her finally rest. But slowly, something changed. She began waking up with a quiet ache in her lower back. Nothing sharp, just a stiffness that made her slower to rise. She said it felt like her spine had been pressed into the bed. That ache stayed longer each morning, until one day she sat on the edge of the bed and said softly, "I feel sore every day now. And I didn't even do anything yesterday. We thought it was just age. That's what people say, isn't it? That discomfort is just part of getting older." But then I came across a note from a geriatric spine specialist in Boston, and it made me stop. When the lower back isn't properly supported during sleep, the muscles around the spine are forced to stay engaged for 6 to 8 hours. Over time, this leads to chronic tension, spinal misalignment, and long-term pain. I read that line again, and I saw it. My mom lying there each night, her hips and lower back sinking deep into the foam, as if the mattress was swallowing her. Her spine, instead of resting like a soft arc over calm water, was bending, sagging like an untuned violin string. And that's when I understood. It wasn't just aging. It wasn't just the way things are. It was the mattress, too soft, too deep, too forgiving. Her body was doing all the work the bed should have been doing, all night long. The comfort she trusted so deeply was slowly undoing her sleep, undoing her mornings, undoing her strength. Because even the coziest mattress, if it doesn't support the spine, can turn rest into quiet strain. And the worst part, it happens silently, without warning, without noise. Just a little more ache, a little more fatigue, until one day getting out of bed feels harder than it should. Some changes in the body don't happen overnight. They arrive quietly, like tiny waves brushing the shore, soft enough to go unnoticed, but persistent enough to wear you down little by little. That's how it was with my mom. She kept her routine, went to bed early, drank warm water before sleep, always laid on her left side, just like she had since her 60s. And then there was her mattress, thick, soft, sinking gently in the center, like a sponge cake left out too long. Everything about it felt familiar, and maybe that's why. No one questioned what was happening to her back. but I started noticing. Each night when she laid down, her hips would dip lower than her shoulders. When she turned to her side, one side of her waist seemed to bend inward, as if her spine was adjusting to the shape of the mattress, instead of the mattress adjusting to her. She seemed to sleep fine, but I noticed her hand. It would always slip beneath her back, almost instinctively, like her body was trying to hold itself up, even in sleep. One night I asked gently, "Mom, what if we try a firmer foam layer on top of the mattress? Just to support your back a little better." She smiled, waved it off. "I'm used to this one, sweetheart. It's soft. I don't feel the pressure. Back in the day, I slept on hard wood. This is much better." I didn't argue because I understood. Sometimes, older folks aren't afraid of pain. They're afraid of letting go of what's familiar, of having to change what they've already accepted. So I chose a quieter path, no replacements, no big speeches. That evening, after she had fallen asleep early, I gently added a medium firm foam topper, just a couple inches thick, right on top of her mattress. Smoothed the sheets, left her pillows exactly how she liked them. I didn't move anything else. This wasn't about proving a point. If it made her feel worse, I would quietly take it off the next night. But if I was right, maybe she'd have one morning, just one, where she didn't reach for her back first. And then it happened. The next morning, as I stood in the kitchen making tea, she walked in, no wincing, no hand pressed to her lower back. She sat down slowly, lifted her cup, took a sip, then turned to me with a puzzled look. "I don't know why, but my back feels lighter today. Not as stiff. Maybe I slept deeper." I smiled and nodded, said nothing, but inside, I felt the same warmth as the morning sun, creeping across the kitchen counter. We kept the new setup for a few more nights, didn't change anything else. And by night 3, as she settled into bed, she said, "This bed feels more even now. I don't feel like I'm sinking anymore. It's like something's gently holding me in place." She didn't say it as a compliment, she just said it, like it was a fact. And that was enough, because that quiet observation was a sign. Her body was beginning to heal, without even realizing it. No medication, no appointments, just a foam layer, and someone willing to try. What I've learned is this: sometimes what wears us down isn't just the pain, it's the confusion, the not knowing why we hurt in the first place. But the moment my mom felt even slightly that her discomfort wasn't just old age, that it could change, her whole posture softened, her outlook lifted. She didn't need to be fixed. She just needed to feel like her body made sense again. And at her age, that's not a small thing, it's everything. There was a time my mom believed that waking up with back pain was just part of aging. She had lived with it for so long, it felt like fate. Something you simply accept, like gray hair or slower steps. But then, after one small change, just a firm foam layer on top of her old mattress, the pain began to fade. Not overnight, but slowly, gently, like a shadow retreating with the morning sun. I began to read more, and I found something that surprised me. Soft doesn't always mean supportive, especially not for an older spine. The key to better sleep in our later years. It isn't a plush surface, it's alignment, support, balance. Our spines have a natural curve. A mattress that's too soft lets the lower back sink. That forces your muscles to stay tensed, working all night, just to keep your body aligned. And that tension, it's what wakes you up sore. It's what keeps you stiff. So, what's the fix? The good news, you probably don't need a new bed. Just a few small changes. Here's the simple 3-part formula we used for my mom, and you can try it too. 1. A medium firm foam layer. Not too hard, not too soft, just firm enough to support your spine and keep it in a healthy, neutral position. This lets your hips, shoulders, and lower back rest evenly instead of sagging out of alignment. If you already like your mattress, there's no need to replace it. Just place a medium firm foam topper 2 to 3 inches thick right on top. It's affordable, easy to roll out, and in many cases, you'll feel the difference on the very first night. Bump 2. A lower pillow for the head. Many of us sleep with pillows that are too tall. It pushes the head forward, which bends the neck and throws the whole spine off balance. Try a lower, softer pillow, or one that gently supports the curve of your neck, especially if you sleep on your back. You don't need height, you need alignment. 3. A light knee pillow. If you sleep on your back, a small pillow under your knees can work wonders. It eases tension in the lower spine, helps the back relax, and lets your body settle into its natural curve. Don't go overboard. A pillow just 2 to 4 inches thick is enough. Simple, but powerful. When we put all 3 pieces in place for my mom, I didn't need to ask how she slept. I saw it in the way she stood taller in the morning, in how she reached for her tea without bracing her back first, and in the quiet calm of her voice. I also found something from a physical therapist we trust. The right mattress setup not only helps seniors sleep better, but it prevents the spine from staying in constant tension overnight. Our studies show this setup can reduce lower back pain by up to 70% in people over 65. Dr. Samuel Reeve, Geriatric Movement Center, Illinois. That line stayed with me because I realized sleeping well isn't a luxury. It's not about gadgets or new beds or medications. It's about letting your body rest in the position it was designed to recover in. So if you live with aging parents, or if you yourself wake up stiff and sore, don't blame your body too quickly. Start with where it sleeps. Rethink the surface. Look at your pillow. Try one small change, because sometimes, before the pain gets loud enough to speak, your body is already whispering, "I just need a little support." And when you give it that, even a long night can turn into real rest. Some mornings don't need an alarm. My mom just gets up. No groaning, no long pause at the edge of the bed, no hand holding her lower back like it might break if she moved too fast. She simply places her palms behind her, presses gently, and rises. No "oh dear," no sigh, no frown pulling at her face. Just one steady breath and a body that no longer braces for pain. I watch her, quietly, and I notice she doesn't rub her lower back anymore. Doesn't lean against the counter waiting for her spine to catch up. She stretches her arms wide, opens her chest, like someone stepping into the light after a long, heavy night. She doesn't even realize what's changed, because when pain fades quietly, there's no celebration, no confetti, just the return of something that should have never been taken. She walks out onto the porch, cup of tea in hand, soft slippers, calm steps, no hand gripping the doorframe, no hesitation in her stride. And I remember just a few mornings ago, she used to shuffle slowly, one hand on her spine, the other reaching for the counter like it was the only thing keeping her upright. And all of that strain from a mattress we thought was just fine. We didn't buy a new bed. We didn't change her world. We just reset the surface, gave her body the right shape to rest on, a simple foam layer, a lower pillow, a gentle cushion beneath the knees. Each piece small on its own, but together they gave her spine a chance to breathe, to stop holding tension all night long. No doctor told her this. No prescription came in the mail labeled posture relief. It came from watching, From noticing, from living side by side long enough to realize something needed to shift, and having the heart to make that shift with care. So if you live with aging parents, or if you yourself wake up sore more mornings than not, don't rush to blame your body. Start with where it sleeps. Look at the mattress, check the pillow, reconsider what comfortable really means. Because sometimes, just one thoughtful change is all it takes to turn a painful morning into something peaceful. Tonight, before you turn off the light, take a quiet look at your bed, and if someone you love is still sleeping on a surface that sinks a little too much, maybe it's time to add a small layer. It doesn't take a new bed, just a new perspective, and the love to lay down something better.